everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Stephanie and this is starting a new series here on my channel for recommendations, and today's video is my last 10 5-star Black authors read. So there was a lot of talk over on book Twitter about diversity, and there was this horrible article that was released, not to throw shade or anything like that to Jasmine Guillory, but naming her as the romance queen, and woo, was the internet set on fire with that one, because there are plenty of other Black authors out there that are doing their thing. Hello, making history. Kennedy Ryan at RAW, which is a Romance Writers of America, 37 years of not having any Black authors win a Rita, and Kennedy goes in and does it. There was also another Black author that did it. I believe her name is Minx Malone. I could be wrong. I'll make sure that I get it correct in there. But she also, and then there was a whole bunch of other authors of color that won, and making history here. Come on. And then an article like that comes out and it's like, what is going on? Why? Hello? Oh my goodness. So to start off my new series, because you guys have been requesting it, and I'm all about trying to help you guys out and, give you what you want to see on my channel. You guys want more specific recommendations, and Jess from Peace Love Books has been doing this for a while, and I figured I'd jump on the train. And I don't know if I'm going to do it every Thursday, or if it's going to be every other Thursday, or maybe once a month on a Thursday, but it is going to be Thursdays that I give you guys a specific recommendations video. And today's is my last 10 5-star Black authored books that I read. So let's just get into that list, because I'm going to talk about the books and tell you why you need to go and read these books and all that great stuff. So the first one, and these are in no particular order, it's just how Goodreads put them out. I said pick all my 5 stars in my Black authors shelf over on Goodreads. And if you're not following me over on Goodreads, please go do that. That link is down in the description box, so you can go check that out. You do have to request me as a friend if you are not on Goodreads, or if we're not already friends. Make sure that you answer my question on why you want to be my friend. Please do, or else you will get ignored. But I have a shelf where every single time I read different things, I break it down, and this is my Black authors shelf. So I went on there and said, hey, put it in order of stars, and these are the last 10 5-star reads that I had. So the first one that came up was Rafe, a buff male nanny by Rebekah Weatherspoon. I raved about this a couple weeks ago, and I really loved this book. It has a interracial couple that's involved in it. It has kids that are involved in it, and I was completely here for it. It has that trope of male nanny, and I had never read anything about a male nanny before, and I loved it. Our main male character is a ginger. Our main female character is a Black doctor who's a prodigy, and it gave me all the feels of Grey's Anatomy. So if you are a fan of the newer Grey's Anatomy, not the old stuff. I mean, even though, no, because she's not like Bailey. She is like Maggie from Grey's Anatomy. So if you can follow along with that analogy and make that connection, this book is definitely going to be for you. If you're looking for a Maggie character in a book setting, this is the book for you. The next one is Rebel, which is Women Who Dare #1 by Beverly Jenkins. I have been sleeping on Beverly Jenkins. Beverly Jenkins is an OG. She is like straight up OG. Home girl brings like the history, and then like all sorts of things Blackness. I mean, just amazing. And I am not one that likes to read about slavery, about oppression, or anything like that. But Beverly brought it in this book. This book in particular is about an independent black female that was raised as a freed slave, but then she went to, I want to say, Louisiana or Alabama, something like that, down where slaves have just been emancipated and they have the freedom to start learning. She's a teacher. She deals with the racism that is still going on in the area, or maybe it was Louisiana. Did I say Louisiana? Anyways, but she's dealing with that, and she meets this man. She doesn't need the man. The man's there to help her, and he's black as well, but he has Creole like roots and things like. It's such a good book. Such a good book. A history lesson involved with an independent black woman in slavery or just after slavery time. On point, Bev. On point. OG. Oh my goodness. The next one is Grading Curves by Simone. And I listened to this one for the first time over at the Read Me Romance podcast and loved it. Loved it. This is about a teacher that comes in, and before she starts teaching in this small town, she goes in and gets a tattoo because she wants to I guess, open herself up to being more than just that stuffy teacher. And she meets the tattoo artist, and the tattoo artist is hot for her, and then come to find out it's a little hot for teacher thing going on. And this book was smoking hot, and I was so here for it. I loved every single moment of it. The next one is Between Us and Forever by Dylan Allen, and I met Dylan Allen before I read this book. She is close friends with Kennedy Ryan. I met both of them at a Polycon. Well, I had already known Kennedy Ryan, but I finally got to meet Dylan, and girlfriend can write her ass off. I actually read this in the podcast of Read Me Romance as well, and I was here for it. It's about a childhood sweetheart sort of situation in which they go their separate ways and they have their different lives, and I'm like, I need more of this story. It's just like a short snippet of how they end up getting back together, but I really, really want some of the backstory that goes along with our characters. He becomes a rock star. She has some issues in her family life, and when they come back together, it's like, I left you, but I didn't really leave you. I miss you. I love you. I want us to be back together. And it's just swoony, and their sex scene is hot. It's so hot. I was so here for it. Here for it. Next, we're going to talk about Tempest, which is Old West #3 by Beverly Jenkins. This was actually my first book into Beverly Jenkins, and woo! It is about a mail order bride that moves to the western like states and things like that, and she was raised to be super independent, and she ends up shooting her suitor, the guy that she's supposed to be marrying, through the mail order bride thing that's going on, right? He needs a wife for his daughter to, you know, have a woman influence, and woo, another history lesson. This one is milder because it doesn't deal with slavery. It deals with sort of the oppression that happened on the West Coast in the late 1800s. So they were dealing with the gold rush and dealing with mail order brides and dealing with women being independent and everything like that. And I was so here for it. I was like, yes, give me more. This book is what turned me on to Beverly Jenkins, and I know when I go into a Beverly Jenkins book, I'm going to get me a history lesson as well as a sassy, independent woman that I no longer have to be like, this is about slavery, or this is about oppression of the female character, and so here for it. So here for it. Next is Forget Me Not by Brenda Jackson, and this is the second book in the Love in Catalina Cove series, and this book deals with two characters. One ends up losing his memory, and the other feels in her heart of hearts that her husband is not dead, and come to find out when she goes on a sort of relaxation trip to get over him, because her friends are like, you need to get over him. He's gone. He's dead. He's not with us anymore. Come to find out, she done found him, and this is their reconnection story of, you know, experiencing that, coming to be with this guy that doesn't know his past, but knows that he has a past, has a feeling he has a past, but doesn't know that she is his past, and them sort of coming to grips with, you know, the person he was versus the person he is now. And I really, really enjoyed their sort of unfolding of this new love that they may have for each other, and it was superb. I loved it. I loved it. Loved it a lot. Next book is Everybody's Got Something by Robin Roberts. I read this, I believe it was for Non-Fic November last year, and this is Robin Roberts' story. I knew that she had cancer. I did not know that she had cancer twice, and all of the family issues that she ended up having, not necessarily like they were bad, but there were so many grief moments. I found myself in tears. She actually narrates her audiobook, and she brings all of the emotion that she obviously felt when she was going through everything that she talks about, and I thought it was superb. The next book I'm going to talk about is Hookshot by Kennedy Ryan. This is not the one that won the Rita. Longshot is the one that actually won the Rita, but this is a book that is so close to my heart, and I love it so very much. It does talk about childhood sexual abuse, but it is amazing, because what Kennedy Ryan does when she writes a deep and emotional book is she goes and she researches it. She finds the people that have experienced these situations that she wants to write about, and she gets that first-hand account, and then she weaves that information into a beautiful, beautiful, touching and moving story that just rips your heart out, and then, you know, puts it back together, and it gives you resolution. Well, this story specifically is about a soon to retire basketball player. He is older, and he has met our female character who has had some family issues, and we've actually, if you've read the series, you know who our characters are. You've had a little bit of a glimpse into their history, but this is their story and how they end up working together, working through their issues. It is beautiful. It talks about therapy, and it's just superb. I loved every single moment of it. I loved the entire series. This and Longshot kind of border on which book is my favorite. I love both of them because they both did something very, very special for me. The next book I'm going to talk about is Love in Catalina Cove, which is by Brenda Jackson. And this is the first book that turned me on to Brenda Jackson. I had read other Brenda Jackson books, but this one like really was like, oh, I need more Brenda Jackson. This book has so much family drama. It's about Catalina Cove, which is down in Louisiana. And our female character went away from her hometown and was like, I am not going back there. She had a life. And then her aunt ends up passing, and there is an inn that her aunt, she ends up inheriting from her aunt after she passes, and she finds out that there are town secrets that she didn't know that involve her, and there's so much drama that goes along with it, but at the same time, there is a sheriff that has a daughter, and she's amazing, and some secrets get revealed, and yes, so many yeses, so So very good. So much drama that I was just completely drawn in. And then this one feeds off into the book that I talked about earlier, which is Forget Me Not. And there's a third book coming, and I'm super stoked and excited about that. Then the final book that I'm going to talk about is Intercepted by Alexa Martin. And this book, oh my goodness, this book was a mainstream book, and even though in the beginning of this book I was like, oh, there are a whole bunch of hashtags in here, it was like hashtag to death, but then once you get into the story, you start to understand those hashtags, and I was living for this book. I am so excited to get to the third book in this series, which comes out soon. But this book specifically is about the girlfriends and wives of some players from the National Football League. And it's not an autobiography. It's not even a bibliography, but it is a play off of some of the things that happen in the National Football League with the wives and the girlfriends. Whew. Drama ensues. If you like Basketball Wives or Football Wives or whatever other shows that they have on the air right now that have all that drama, juicy goodness, this is the story for you, because this deals with our female character who is a girlfriend of a football player, and they end up breaking up because he done cheated on her. Whew, good riddance. But she in turn ends up finding out that someone she had been involved with in her past is now on the football team and has now come back into her orbits. And whew, yes, some spiciness, some juiciness, some swoon-worthy moments that are amazing, and I was here for it. Like I said, I'm here for this entire series. So alrighty, so those are the last 10 5-star books that I read by Black authors, and I hope that you will diversify your reading style or reading TBRs and include some of these books. If you do, let me know down in the comments what you thought about them. If you've read them already, let me know down in the comments what you thought about them. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, there is a feedback form down in the description box so you guys can help me improve my channel. Thank you for watching, and we will see you guys later.